It is 0 hour 30, Universal Time. I'm Jim Tedder in Washington. Reports say Israeli ground forces are fighting fiercely with Hezbollah militants in northeastern Lebanon, along the border with Syria. The Bekaa Valley area is said to be a Hezbollah base. A Hezbollah spokesman says militants have surrounded a hospital in the town of Baalbek. He says Israeli soldiers are trapped inside. There are also reports of Israeli airstrikes. Israel and Hezbollah continue fighting in several areas of southern Lebanon. The Israeli army says 3 of its soldiers were killed in the town of Aita al-Shab Tuesday. The army says 25 soldiers were wounded. Hezbollah has denied Israeli claims that several hundred Hezbollah fighters died in the last 3 weeks of fighting. The European Union has called for an immediate and lasting end to the hostilities between Israel and Hezbollah militants in Lebanon. Earlier, Britain and Germany objected to a proposed statement that called for an immediate ceasefire. The French foreign minister says the EU agreement is similar to a French plan to end the violence between Israel and Hezbollah. That plan calls for a halt in fighting, followed by an official ceasefire. The final part of the French proposal is the deployment of international peacekeepers in southern Lebanon. Reports say Israeli airstrikes killed 2 civilians in the northern part of the Gaza Strip on Tuesday. At least 3 other people were wounded. Also Tuesday, Palestinian lawmaker Nabil Shath said talks have restarted to end the Israeli offensive in Gaza. Mr. Shath said an agreement could involve the release of several hundred Palestinian prisoners from Israeli jails. In exchange, Palestinian militants could release an Israeli soldier captured in June. But Israeli officials say they will not negotiate a prisoner exchange. Israeli attacks in Gaza have killed more than 150 Palestinians since June. Iraqi officials say bomb attacks across the country killed more than 50 people on Tuesday. Many others were wounded. North of Baghdad, a bomb attack near a bus killed 23 Iraqi soldiers. In the capital, another attack killed 14 people, including several soldiers. 2 American soldiers were killed in separate bombings south of Baghdad and in Al-Anbar province. And the British military says a British soldier was killed in an attack in Basra. Also Tuesday, the governor of the Iraqi province of Najaf says gunmen kidnapped 45 people. They were seized as they traveled through a Sunni Arab area of the mostly Shiite province. Iranian President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad has rejected a United Nations Security Council resolution on Iran's nuclear program. The resolution gives Iran until the end of August to suspend uranium enrichment activities or face restrictions. Mr. Ahmadinejad says that Iran will not be forced to give up what he called its right to a peaceful nuclear program. The UN Security Council approved the resolution on Monday. You are listening to the news in VOA Special English. Military officials in Afghanistan say suspected Taliban fighters have attacked a group of NATO soldiers in Helmand province. 3 British soldiers were killed, another was seriously wounded. Also Tuesday, the American-led coalition said it arrested 4 suspected al-Qaeda agents in the Afghan province of Khost. North Korea has criticized South Korea for launching a satellite. North Korea called the launch a serious act of incitement. A spokesman for the North Korean Committee for Reunification says the launch last Friday forces North Korea to increase its war defenses. His comments were reported by the official news agency of North Korea. The South Korean satellite was launched in Russia. Reports say a powerful camera in the satellite will help South Korea study geographical changes and search for natural resources. Sri Lankan officials say Tamil Tiger rebels have attacked a Navy base in the northeastern part of the country. Officials say the shell attack killed 4 sailors on a troop transport ship. The ship was carrying more than 800 troops. Also Tuesday, the Sri Lankan Air Force attacked Tamil positions in the same area. The government is trying to regain control of a water storage center. Sweden has announced it is withdrawing its ceasefire observer team from Sri Lanka. Finland and Denmark made similar announcements last week. President Bush has signed a law that extends a ban on imports from Burma for 3 more years. The law renews the Burmese Freedom and Democracy Act passed in 2003. The Bush administration says the ban is a sign of serious concern about the Burmese government's refusal to move toward democracy. The Association of Southeast Asian Nations also recently criticized the Burmese military government for a lack of progress with democratic reforms. Cuban President Fidel Castro says he is feeling good after an operation to treat stomach bleeding. A statement by the president was read on Cuban television on Tuesday. The Cuban leader temporarily surrendered power to his brother, Defense Minister Raul Castro, before the operation. Earlier Tuesday, the leader of the Cuban parliament told reporters that Mr. Castro is not close to death. Mr. Castro will be 80 years old on August 13th. The Bush administration says it is studying the situation in Cuba. The United States has had economic restrictions against Cuba for many years. And now, briefly, here again is the major news of the hour. Reports say Israeli ground forces are fighting Hezbollah militants in northeastern Lebanon along the border with Syria. The European Union has called for an immediate and lasting end to hostilities between Israel and the Hezbollah in Lebanon. And bomb attacks across Iraq have killed more than 50 people. And that's the news in VOA Special English. From Washington, this is Jim Tedder reporting.